Well, let's jump into this because James Massey told me he only has 3 hours with us this morning. No, I'm totally joking. He actually has a hard stop at the top of the hour. So I want to spend as much time with James as possible. So if you guys don't know James, right, he is the owner of Team James Massey at EXP. He is an Atlanta native, a seasoned real estate professional who's recognized for values and trust. This guy has done so much in this business. He grew his business from $36,000 a year to $360,000 in commission in a 12-month period. And now he has a team doing over $500,000 in GCI. He prides himself on being a father, a husband, a little league coach for all of his kids and stuff like that. And now he spends most of his time helping other people grow, which is what this Agents Helping Agents call is all about. James Massey, what's going on, my man?
What's up, Larry? What's up, Larry? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? This Friday.
Man, it's going good. But in the chat box, why don't you guys let James know like where you guys are checking in from and stuff here? Like, why don't you guys give him some feedback and stuff there? And James, like I gave a small little highlight of yourself, what you got going on and stuff over there. Tell me, like, tell everybody here, like, when did you get into real estate? Like, let's talk about your real estate journey a little bit to what got you here for today.
So it's been a few years that I've been an agent. It's funny, dude, because I actually never really wanted to sell to the public. What I had another business that I was running. I had 5 stores inside of the Braves Stadium, Atlanta Braves Stadium, world champion. Now I'm just, but I'm gonna digress. But I had another business in the Braves Stadium, and I was taking my money that I was making from that business, and I was actually investing in real estate. So what I decided to do instead of me going through the whole process of having to use a real estate agent, I don't know how many of y'all work with investors, but we always think we know a lot. I was like, I'll just get my own license and then I don't have to deal with no agents. What ended up happening is shortly after I got my license, they changed management at the stadium and they canceled my contract. So when they did it, I was actually in the car with the wife and we was, going to a bicycle shop. She was on speakerphone, she heard everything. We stopped and, got off, did the wise knots. And I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, I'm quiet, she's quiet. So I told her, I said, well, I guess I got to sell some houses. So that's really how I got into this space. Like I said, never really intended on selling to the public. Um, my journey was simple. I struggled like with anybody else. When you ever, starting off something new, it was main things that helped me was lead generation, lead conversion, and then adding leverage. And that's when I made that leap when I started doing that part of it. And I mean, I did get a team built up and I was running my team, which was cool. I was running my team simply because I thought that that was going to be the thing that was going to bring me freedom because I never liked not my son played baseball, my youngest son plays soccer, and every time I'm at the game, I'm like this, right?
Sure.
So I really never liked that aspect of things. So I thought the team part was going to do that. And it did give me some level of freedom, but it wasn't the level of freedom that I really wanted. And then this little thing called rev share kicked in, and start understanding like that, and just kind of just took it and just started running with it.
Gotcha. So when did you get your license originally?
Um, man, you're gonna put me on the spot, man. I don't remember stuff like that. Just gonna be honest with you. You gotta ask. My wife knows that type of stuff. It's been at least I would say about 13, 14 years
13
ago.
or 14 years. Okay. And
Yeah.
how long have you been with EXP at this point in time?
I'm coming up on 8 years.
Coming up on 8 years. And
Yeah.
so, you came over here, let's call it what, like 2016, 2017-ish, right?
Hmm. Yep.
At this point in time. And like you brought your whole team over at that point in time?
Yeah, I mean it's funny because like I had a team of 5 agents, so it's not like I had a huge team or anything like
Sure.
that. So what ended up happening is 2 of them didn't come, 3 came. Then
Okay.
after they came, the other one left. So basically it left me with 2 people. So initially I was like, man, this thing ain't working. This is like I'm supposed to be adding people, not losing people. But
Yeah.
luckily I had a particular person that was a coach at the time, and he was just like telling me like, what's the goal? Stick to the goal. What are you trying to accomplish?
Gotcha. Guys, that's so important, right? Like we talk about this a lot. Like you have to know what your goal is in order to ever get there. And then you have to have that roadmap that you follow every single day in order to get there. So tell us a little bit kind of about what your roadmap looks because now you don't just have a couple of agents underneath you. How large is your organization now?
Yeah, man, we just crossed over 1,450 agents today. Since being at the company. So we've been growing. We've added, I think it was 40 agents in the last 30 days, which is
Beautiful.
insane just to know that there is possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, like anything, I mean, it's a journey at first. Like, what I'm saying, you starting off with just one, and then, one goes into two or three, and then you might lose a couple, and it seems like things ain't working, but I mean, you got to just stay the course, and things start to happen.
Yeah. And for those, like, we got a big mix of people, people that have been here for some time, people that are just getting started, some people that are just getting started building groups, building teams, building revenue share organizations. Like, what were some of your biggest learning lessons, right? Like, that you could share with people along your journey that helped kind of yeah, like so that they don't have to repeat that same lesson at this point in time. What was like what were some of the top things that you would say?
Oh man, where you want to start, dude? Like I probably made every single mistake starting off when building this thing, like um I had one situation, man. I guess the biggest one I would just say is I just probably EXP'd on people a lot.
Mm,
That's really that was the biggest thing. Like, oh my God. And assuming that they wanted the same thing that I wanted. That was the other thing, right? Because a lot of times what we end up doing is like the thing that like gets our attention. We assume that that's the thing that's going to get other people's attention. So what
yeah.
we do is we turn around and like we want to like just kind of just just grab onto them and like, oh no, you gotta get this part here because this is what made most sense. This is my goal, so you need to get lumped into my goal. And then, as soon as I start realizing that my goal didn't matter, it was all about their goal. And if
Mm,
I was just simply a bridge to get them from one point to the other, which is basically their goal, then my goal was going to get taken care of. So that's what I did in the beginning. It was just like, man, you got to understand there's rev share, there's stock, like, no, you don't understand. There's this, there's that. And it's like, man, like most people at the time, they didn't even understand what rev share was. And most people didn't care about stock. So it's like, all right, so how can I help an agent by getting them to partner with me at this particular company? And I had to slow down and just start asking questions. And once I started slowing down and asking questions, that was the big game changer. Because I started getting answers to what agents mostly wanted. And if you can answer the question of what agents mostly want, and there's an EXP solution to it, right?
sure.
Everybody knows there's an EXP solution to it. Like we have the answer to what agents want. Um, and then if you can articulate that solution without saying EXP, because that's really what it is, right? It's because
Yeah.
if you go like, no, EXP has this, EXP has that. No, no, no. We have this, we have that. Our group has this, our group has that. I mean, you there with Larry. I see some. I mean, I know Larry, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got some big people, some powerful folks. That's within here. Johnny looked very familiar to me. There's a few people look very familiar with me. Like, so, like the answers are here. If y'all doing these masterminds, that's already a big deal. That's one of the things that I did. I actually started in my office. It was, my first mastermind I did, I think it was about four of us. And when I was in that mastermind, like we just literally just taught people how to sell more houses. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all it was. Just taught them how to sell more houses. And then it grew to like, initially it was for my team. I'll say that. So initially I was having meetings for my team. And then somebody gave me the bright idea. It was like, hey, if you're doing it for the team, why wouldn't you do it for the organization? So I was like, oh, that makes sense. So it was like, all right, so I'll just do it for the entire organization. So they start coming in. Then I started telling other people to invite other people. So we went to 10, 15, 20, 50 people that was coming. And then we started expanding outside of Georgia. And then my initial plan, because we had to go to a bigger office and start doing our meetings there. So my initial plan was to stream everything from the new location to like, to everybody else because we were getting people outside of Georgia that wasn't able to participate in that. But then like, what I'm saying, the perfect situation happened, which was COVID. So when COVID hit, everything went to Zoom. So I was like, man, this is great because before we had to pay for lunches, we had to like pay for the events, like where to be at every single month. Now it's like, man, you just throw a Zoom up, boom, you get a whole bunch of people to go in, and then instantly they get all the benefits from there. But that's one of the things that I did. I just stayed consistent with showing, being about somebody else's goal,
Yeah.
not my goal, and not EXPing on them and just assuming that they're just gonna want the same things that I want.
I love it, man. So tell people about the progress, right? Because, some people are just getting started and they're like, oh, I added three, but I lost two, right? I added one and I lost one. They're going through this little transition and stuff. We talked already about staying the course, man. And I have an accountability group, about 25, 30 people every single morning where we're just talking about like stay the course, right? We have the wind at our sail right now. We have so much momentum going. Everything that we're doing is working at this point in time, and it's been bananas. And so we talk a lot about staying the course. What did your journey look like? Do you have any idea the end of year one, how many agents you had? Year three, like when did it really start to like leapfrog for you?
Oh, 1 second.
Okay.
All right. So it's funny. So I'm sitting here in my office right now. And this is I keep my past and my future sitting in front of me, right? So I don't know if y'all
Yes.
can even see this right here, but
Yeah.
this is let me turn this off. This is a wealth chart right here that I initially had, okay? So this is what I did. So you see year one, I had 70 agents in my total organization. Year two, it jumped to 205. Three,
Wow.
588,
Yeah.
four, 921. Then this one here, what's that one? Then 1050, right? And I mean, we just kind of kept growing. So tracking is very important. Like you wanna make sure you know that. Like you're not adding, you're multiplying, right? I always ask
Mm.
like when I'm talking to my group, I always ask them like, what is one agent worth? Like what is that worth? Cause everybody compare things to like sales and then, like that's I know y'all talk about good news and most people are like, hey man, I got a closing, 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 and that's amazing, right? But what's more important, an agent that you bring on board or a sale that you have, no matter like depending on like the price points, right?
Yeah.
So, I was asking like, what is one agent worth? Well, right now I'm worth 1,450 agents,
Hmm.
right? I have people under me that's worth 800 agents. I have people under me that's worth 500 agents. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what is one person worth? Like, it is not adding, right? And that's what, selling homes is adding. You're adding by selling houses. And you need to do it, right? So I'm not saying, don't sell houses. You do that, what I'm saying, until you get to a point where you're building something. But you've got to focus on building at the same time while you're selling houses. When I first did it, I mean, I sold a bunch of houses and I was just really focused on selling houses. But I knew that that wasn't going to be the end goal. It wasn't going to give me my freedom part of it. I always say like, man, selling houses will make you money, but rev share will make you free. And I was really focused on being free.
Man, I absolutely love it. So, like, I always love to leave everybody here with actionable items that they can take away from and stuff like that. And so, I appreciate you sharing your story, kind of opening up and being real. And, I think everybody on here will notice a lot of similarities, like whether it's coaching, training, right? Being advised, staying the course, tracking and measuring. Guys, success leaves clues, right? Like this is not the first time we've heard this message And like we only bring the cream of the crop, the top producers and stuff onto this call, right? Like if you're not doing these things and you're not getting those results, like this is where I want you to take note of that, right? Like what needs to shift in your guys' business out there, whether like, and these same principles apply whether we're selling real estate, whether we're attracting and building our groups, whether you're selling insurance or mortgages or anything else. Those core principles will stay the same throughout of doing these, and these are the things that I want you to pick up on. But James, how can we add some value to this group here today? Like, what can we teach them, from the lessons and stuff that you've learned that they could walk away from and start implementing tomorrow, my friend?
Man, so I do this thing like when I'm talking to folks, and I always tell them like it's five things that you're gonna be able to tell if the attraction efforts are working for you, right? So like, let me ask the group this question, right? How many of you all have attraction goals?
Put in the chat
Brian
box
said he does.
how many of you guys have an attraction goal, and better yet, type in the chat box what are your attraction goals. Like
Yep.
not just what are they. Like I want to know what they are in the chat box and stuff there.
All right. So, everybody write, if you don't have goals, write them down, write down that you need to make goals. And if you do have goals, like I said, put it like, Larry said, put that in the chat box. But the other question I had was this, right? Um, what are your goals? What are your plans to hit those goals?
Hmm.
Because it's like it's one thing to have a goal and it's another thing to have a plan to hit it, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody can have a goal, but if there's no actionable steps to hit it, then it's just like pie in the sky, right? And like EXP's promise is that you can have rev share, but unfortunately, there's a good percentage of the company that does never get there.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because there's no plan to get there. So that's the other thing. So like, what's the plan? Like, what is your plan to hit your goals? And then
Love.
the biggest part of this is like, how are you tracking that plan?
Mm.
So if if you have a plan, right, and it's not tracked, I always tell, somebody say like, hey, people do what you inspect, not what you expect. Well, guess what? You are people to your own business. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So like you are the person that's working your business. So if you're not inspecting what you're doing, then you're not going to do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's really how
Yeah.
this whole thing works, right? So like what are you doing to track your goals that you say you want, right? Everybody said they want a rev share organization. People like how many people want to make 10, 20, $30,000 a month in rev share, right? Like put that in there. Like part of your goal should be how much you want to make in rev share. So it shouldn't just be like, hey, I want, you know, 10 agents or whatever. Like, hey, what does 10 agents mean? What does 100 agents mean? What does 200 agents mean? Like, what does that mean for you, right? So like you need to know like what is your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And what does that number go, right? And then you need to know what does that mean? Like what are you able to do that you wasn't able to do before?
Yeah, and that's the leverage, right, guys? Because things are going to get hard. Like life is going to happen. Kids are going to get sick. You're going to get sick. Things are going to get messy in there. And this is where you need to know what you're working for and why, is what James is saying, right? And then you have to have the right group, the right team, right, to come back on track and stay on that plan at that point in time. So if you don't have enough leverage to get you to do shit when it's tough, like the odds are you're not going to make it, right? Like what's going to get you to move when you got to get gritty, right? Like what's going to bring the dog out of you that's like, no, like this is why I did this and this is why I'm doing this and there's no other option. Like it is a certainty at that point in time that this is what you're going to accomplish, right? So on top of so thank you guys for putting in, like your goals and stuff of how many agents and stuff that you want. Now do the next part, right? Like what does that accomplish, right? Does that pay your mortgage? right? Does that pay your car note? Does that put your kids through college? Like that is the part that needs to be the trigger. And don't give us surface level, right? Because if it's not big enough, like you're not going to do it at that point in time. So put that in the chat box for me as well.
Yeah. I'll say, Larry, man, like even something that I just started recently just adapting when I'm talking to people, like when I'm dealing with situations, like people don't do what they don't understand, right? And
Mm-hmm.
somebody said, well, no, I heard this before. Well, you might have heard it, but you don't understand it because if you understood it, you would do it. Like, why is somebody not joining you? But they just don't understand.
Yeah.
No, I taught it to him. I showed it to him. Yeah, but it ain't hit yet, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes understanding takes a few times. That's the reason why we go to conferences and things of that nature, just simply because, like, the more you get it in, at some point you have these aha moments, like, oh my God, that makes sense. Like, like Larry, like you said, he's probably telling y'all the same stuff, right? But it might be something I'm saying that maybe Larry said before. It's like, oh my God, when James said this right here, and Larry's looking at you like,
Like I told you that last week, damn it. But now you're gonna be like, well, that was a great idea, James.
Yeah, yeah. No, the only reason I'm saying it because we have I literally have a mastermind right afterward, and we're doing literally the same thing, right? So we're gonna have
Yeah.
like agents there, and it's gonna be the same situation. Like, oh my God, he was so amazing. He said this, this, and this, and I'm like, he was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. I don't care where you get it from. I just want you to get it at the end of the day.
Yes.
But that's really what it stands for. But like, really, what it was is like. They just heard it a little bit different when this other person said it versus somebody else said it. It just sunk down, you know what I'm saying? Like Larry's been putting that seed in for so long, but now when he brings somebody else in, it's like, oh, okay, now I get it. Like Larry might not necessarily get the credit initially, but he's the one to put the seed in. I necessarily didn't get the credit, but I put the seed in, right? But
Yeah.
as long as you keep showing up on a regular basis, don't suffer in silence, you're gonna get where you want to be. And until you do it, just know you ain't got it. That's the
Mm.
biggest part of it. Because a lot of people like, oh man, I didn't do it because like, well, let me ask this question. Why don't people attract? Put that in the
Anybody?
chat bar.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys
And
can.
yeah, you can take yourself off mute and talk and like just talk to me. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah. So who wants to speak up here? Why do you think people don't attract more agents right now? Everybody has the same
They don't know what to
opportunity
say.
as James.
They don't know what to say, or they don't think they have value. Don't think they have anything to offer, nothing to attract them.
Of that. Don't know what to say. Don't think they have value.
People fear
I,
rejection.
and I guess I'm surrounded by top producers, and they don't want to leave their brokerage. I need to fish somewhere else.
Top producers.
They've never done
Again,
it.
For
never
me,
never done it.
it's feeling that because I've been out of production for a little while because of health issues, and I feel that why would somebody want to work with me if I'm not in production? That's my fear.
No. All of these are accurate, right? I would agree, right, Larry? These are all true things of why people don't attract. But
Yep.
wouldn't we all agree that these are all limited beliefs?
Mm-hmm.
So I was scared to reach out to brokerages, right? Because I was like, man, these are brokerages. They got their own brokerage independence and stuff, right? And then one day I heard somebody talk about the pain points for brokerages and how it was more beneficial for a broker. Guess what I started doing right after that?
Reaching out to brokers.
Reaching out to brokers. And guess what I started bringing in?
Brokers.
Okay. Now, the question is like, could I have reached out to brokers before and brought in brokers before? What had
Sure.
to change? How I think. That's what
Yeah.
had to change, right? So I want to challenge everybody because like the limited belief of why you're not doing something is really your limited belief. It was my limited belief. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's other limited beliefs that I'm still trying to deal with today, right? And I'm dealing with it and I'm working with it, right? And I'm working through it. But I do understand it's on me. It's
Yeah.
not based upon anything else. It's me stopping me. it ain't Larry's getting people that I couldn't get. It ain't Jeff getting people that I couldn't get. No, it's me stopping me from getting people that I should be getting and talking to them. It's no worse feeling in the world when somebody that you know you should have spoke to ends up joining them somebody else.
Yeah, it's
Gut punch.
heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Uh-huh.
Gut punch.
Yeah, and
So,
on that note, guys, right? And James, I want to put this out for you and your group and stuff as well. But we're going to there's a big group of us going to Tony Robbins UPW in I think it's around Miami, Fort Lauderdale in November this year. And because we're taking a big group, one, we get like as long as we have 50 people, we get an entire section built like taped off for us. Two, we get the VIP tickets instead of $1,800. I want to say for $700 or $800, which is crazy. And these things, the same things that James is talking about, like you will literally go through your limiting beliefs and you will rewire it. And this is where we have to constantly grow. Like, do you have the skills that you need to be? Do you have the skills that you need right now for who you want to be in the future? My gut feeling is you don't. Because the gut feeling is I don't, right? Like we have to continue to learn these new things and reprocess ourselves over and over and over on this growth process. So, Kathy, if you could put the link in for anybody that's interested in that. Like by signing up to this link, it does not sign you up for it or anything like that. But our rep will reach out to you and get you that VIP pricing and stuff like that. And James, again, man, I would love if any of your group and stuff wants to go to that. Have you been to Tony Robbins in the past?
man, it's actually on my list, and every time he has it, it's something else comes up or whatever. But I mean, I very well might take you up on that, man. Like for real. Like I just got to talk to the wife and make sure those dates are clear. But yeah,
So,
I
so,
think I
so
want to do that.
check this out. And this is like, man, in all honesty, like because I've been with Tony for years now, I think since like 2014, like he has announced to his staff that he will be retiring. I don't know if this will be his last one or if it's next year, but he has announced that he will be retiring in the next year. And I'm telling you guys, it is criminal for you not to go to that event. It is the most spectacular event, presentation, I don't care what you want to call it, like that I have ever been a part of. Everything from the music to the lighting to the like, man, everything is so well orchestrated, right? And you can take all of that and bring it back into your real estate experience and stuff as well. So, man, that would be huge, James. That like, and get it out to your other leaders
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. No,
it
no,
will
100%.
it will wake things up for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like I'm like 85% there. I just gotta talk to the missus real quick.
Okay. All right.
We're gonna make it happen.
I love it, man. Yeah, and that group rate applies to any of your members and stuff, any of your team or group or guys. If there's people that you're working on track, get them there. Like their broker's not going there and doing things like that and stuff with them, right? Like get them there as well. Like offer this out to other people that you have a vested interest in growing, right? Like growing with, like Mark Rebert. Like damn. Like, let's do Tony Robbins together, Mark. Let's do it.
Maybe.
It's amazing, guys. Like it's life changing, and I know I've been to Tony Robbins events with quite a few of you guys and stuff like that. But it's going to push the limits, and it's going to allow you to think differently at that point in time. All right. What else do we want to leave these folks with today? Anything that we're
Man,
leaving out over there, James?
man, so it's more so it's my 5 rules, man. All right, so this is what it is. 5 rules to monitor, because like I don't think it's acceptable just to leave them without having actionable steps, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get into Jeff about not knowing what to say. Okay, that was a good thing as well. But fire rules, everybody should have some type of board or tracker, and you want to have 5 things on there. And number one is going to be how many agents you reach out to. Okay. The second part of it is going to be how many of those agents that you are able to show the opportunity to. The third one is going to be how many of those agents you show the opportunity to lead to a three-way call. The fourth one will be how many of those people that went to a three-way call showed up to an event. And then the last one is where everybody want to be at is how many of those people actually join you.
Mm.
All right. Um, my follow-up is rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
That's
It
my
doesn't have to
follow-up.
be complicated. It just has to be consistent.
Just have to be consistent, okay? So what ends up happening, I think, with a lot of people is they get frustrated when person doesn't join or don't join right away, and they don't understand like what pipeline looks like, okay? Um, just think about it. If you're trying to, get somebody to buy a house, right? When you meet that person for the first time, if your whole objective is to get them to buy the house and you're talking to them about financing and you're talking to them about, hey, you're going to make an offer, you're going to lose that person. You're not going to get that person to want to work with you at all because it's what they call a commission breath.
Yeah.
That's what that becomes. It's commission breath, right?
Yeah.
So when I was doing buyers and sellers, I only my whole point of talking to somebody for the first time was to get them to agree to an appointment. My win was the appointment, not buying a house, not selling the house. It was the appointment. From the appointment, it was my win was getting them to agree to work with me by signing my my listing or to list their house or buyer agreement. From there, my win was showing them properties or putting the house on the market. And then it was going on the contract and then it was closing, right? And I could
Yeah.
always tell what type of month or year I was going to have based upon where people were within that pipeline, right? But I can also tell as well where I was lacking in based upon what the bottleneck was in that pipeline as well, right? So it's the same thing with agent attraction, right? So if my only goal is to get people to see an opportunity, that's my win. I don't care if they join. I want them to join, but I don't care
Sure.
if they join. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not trying to convince people to do stuff that they don't want to do. I'm not trying to make somebody do something. I'm literally looking for, it's enough people in this world that connect with me and all of you all are good enough where there's enough people that want to connect with you where all you got to do is show this opportunity. The problem is most people are not showing the opportunity enough. The reason why people are not selling as many houses as they could sell is because they're not reaching it out to as many people to get, to get the business. I mean, that's just it's simple, right? You know, more people you reach out to, more people that's going to work with you. More people that's going to work with you, more people you're going to have sales with. Same thing with agents. More agents reach out to, more agents that's going to, you show the opportunity to. It's the same thing, right? So I'm only looking at my pipeline, not the end results. Now, of course, I want my end results because that's part of my pipeline, but I am satisfied as long as people are moving along, right? So, but if I get somebody, if they're seeing the opportunity, but I'm not getting them to a three-way call, then at that point, I need to be looking at, all right, what am I doing wrong? What am I saying? What skill I need to learn to get them to that three-way call? If they're going to the three-way call and then they're not getting to the event, then I know that, hey, I need to work on a skill to get them to an event, right? And that's really what the whole thing is. Like you just got to skill up. When I first started selling houses, like I was not good at selling houses. I made, 36,000 in commission, right? So I'm not good, So, but I got one thing that I understood, right? And that is that anything I start, I'm probably gonna suck at it at first. If I keep doing it and keep working on it, I'll get better. And if I keep getting better, I'll get good. And if I get good, I'll get great. And it was
Mm.
one thing that really just kind of helped me out. And it was this. It was like, I'm willing to do anything as long as I don't have to do it forever. And then something I just heard just the other day, it was like, man, it takes what it takes, right? So like if I want to make $400,000 in commissions or $500,000 in commissions, it takes what it takes to do the necessary things to get there. It takes what it takes, and for some people, it take longer, right? I was a C student in high school. Occasionally got an A and B, depending on who I was sitting next to in class. So I'm not the smartest guy, right? But I do understand how to actually, copy people that are very smarter than me, right? So, but it takes what it takes. It takes copying the people like, copy Larry. Larry has a great organization. To copy people that are already ahead of you. And if you do the same thing that they're doing, you're gonna get the results that they're having. Like you're no different than they are. It's just that they're just doing the work and you're not. And that's what it was for me. So once I started doing that and understanding that if I can just push people along, so if I had like, 10 people that watched the video, out of those 10 people, seven went to a three-way call. Out of those seven that went to a three-way call, four of them went to an event. And from that, two of them ended up joining. Then those are my numbers right there. So at that point, now I have data. So because I have data, now I can scale. Because if I know for every 10 people, two join, those are my numbers. So what I'm doing after that, I'm trying to reach out to as many multiples of 10 as possible to have as many people in my group that I bring on as quickly as possible. So now I know this is all dependent on me. My numbers are 10, 10 equals 2. Your numbers might be 10 equals 1. You might have better conversion, 10 equals 5 or whatever. Whatever your numbers are, those are your numbers, and that's fine. But just know the more you do it, your numbers get better because if you do it more, you start to scale up, and now your numbers become 10-3 or 10-4. You know, that's really that's how I did it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love it. And for a lot of you guys that are leaning into this, right? Like, we have our accountability calls and we're doing the same thing, right? We're reaching out to 5 people a day, inviting them to our live call to show them an opportunity, right? We know for every 8 that show up, like 2 will be hired. That's what the numbers are telling us right now. So, how many agents do you want in your group? And for some of you guys that have these rev share goals and stuff like that, like this is where we have a group that literally I will build out a website for you. Like you don't need to learn EXP or do this. Like we have the entire process set up and everybody that's using it, everybody that's leaning into it is absolutely crushing it. You guys are all invited to that, but you're going to have to take the first step. Send me an email at the end of this call and say, hey, I'm interested in attracting more agents. I will send you over what it's going to take to be a part of this group because there's expectations. Like if you're going to be chewing up time, like I'm going to make sure that you're getting the results that you're looking for and I'm getting the results that I'm looking for as a group as a whole. I want everybody contributing on that community. If not, you can continue the pace that you're doing, and that's totally fine as well. But if you want to level up, we're teaching you the scripts, the process, the follow up, when to follow up, what do you say to follow up, etc. Wash, rinse, repeat over and over to where it ends with a 3-way call with you, the agent, and myself. So that way we can start value stacking. That way we can start digging into what the problems are of that agent's business structure at that point in time. And as James mentioned, how we solve that with a solution. So if you're interested in that, I will leave that ball in your court. You're not required to, but shoot me a personal email. Say, hey, I'm interested in growing this. I'll send you the expectations. You figure out if you can commit to those, and I am happy to grow with any one of you guys there.
Amazing, man. Like, I mean, Larry is putting himself out there to help everybody else out, man. And I'm gonna tell you, if the one measure that is the biggest measure of all, I'm gonna tell everybody is the three-way call.
Mm,
Like if the three-way call is the biggest measure. My first year, I did 45 three-way calls, and that first year I had 21 people join. So, but the three-way call is the measure, right? And I wish I'd have did 90.
yeah.
That That's 100% true, James. And that's what I've been preaching to everybody. We've got that growth team that's getting paid to help us recruit. And if we're not tapping into that and doing three-way calls with people like you, Larry, me, then that you don't need to have a value proposition. You don't have to know what to say. Just say, hey, you get on a three-way with me and who so and so, right? And play it up. That's it. That is the biggest secret right there.
Be the Brit. Brian Carruthers building an empire. I mean, that book there just kind of breaks everything down. You know, if you want to kind of learn how to do this thing, I think on a better level. Like you don't have to be the answer. You just got to be the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants the answer. Like because they think they have to be you a lot of times to be that, right? But if they think that they just they need to be connected to who you connected to. Like, man, you got to meet my partner, Larry. Oh my God, Larry is so amazing. He's blah, 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 right? You know what I'm saying? You gotta meet Jeff. Oh my God, Jeff is awesome. And Jeff is awesome and Larry is awesome, right? So you gotta believe it. You know what I'm saying? But it's true. So it makes it easier to
Yeah.
believe. But you gotta meet this guy, right? You gotta do it. Right? I mean, he's helped me. He can help you so much. He's helped me, and he's an all around good person. You know what I'm saying? He had people. He invited us to freaking Tony Robbins at freaking $700 when the ticket's like $3,000. Oh my God, he's doing it specifically just to help us. He doesn't care. And don't ever leave your brokerage. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. I don't care about that. Just come get the information. Go sell a bunch of more houses where you are. But you gotta meet Larry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean that passion, like, it just goes a long way because like once they get on, I mean, they're gonna start seeing the same thing that you saw, which is the reason why you're here.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, and Frank Regina says, that three-way call is perceived as an outside expert, right? Like just like we talked here, right? James is saying is preaching a lot of the same messages we've heard over and over, but it might resonate differently, with you, the way that James said it versus the way that I said it, the way that Johnny or Ryan says it, etc. Right? So this is where you need that fresh outside perspective that sees different things in that process and stuff there. Guys, we got a few minutes left here. Do you guys have questions for James? Anything that you guys want to ask him or anything like that? While we have him on the line here, because he's built an empire over there and it's not slowing down, right? Like it's continuing to grow, which is impressive, which is what I want for all of you guys. But we have to get started, right? Like we have to get this process moving and stuff here. Frida, what's going on? Talk to us.
Good morning. I had someone, I was telling them I was EXP. They were saying they were EXP and they asked me what could I offer them. And because they asked me, I was in Sam's Club, I didn't have anything prepared to say. So I figured I lost the opportunity to even get them. They were like, what do I gain by coming on your team? And I was like, all the stuff I know they would gain, Larry. I couldn't even think of it right then on the spot. I didn't have my elevator speech prepared. So I'm like, I think I really lost them as opposed to at
They
least if
were
I would have
already
had
EXP.
something.
You
EXP,
said,
but they wanted to know why should they join my team because I had my EXP name tag on. They're like, oh, they said, well, I was just relocated to the area and I was looking for maybe a team. Why should I join your team? And my mind just fell on the floor.
man, all right. So if I don't mind answering this question right here, right? So like this, um, and this is how many of you all have gotten the hey, I I know about EXP before, or I've been to EXP and I left, and you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff, right? So I get that all the time, right? And I just be honest with people. I mean, I'll just tell them like, look, man, um, I'm gonna be straight with you. A brokerage is a brokerage is a brokerage. You can really hang your license anywhere. But the beauty of EXP is that it incentivizes agents to want to work together, right? There's EXP agents that does not do well. There's EXP agents that do very well. There's people at your brokerage that does well. There's people at your brokerage that does not do well. Who you partner with matters. And that's the difference. When you partner with people that have systems and processes in place for you to sell more houses, when you partner with people that have built an incredible organization, when you partner with the top people, you become the next person to do the same thing. So
Mhm.
who you partner with makes the difference in the world. And even if those are not your personal results, you partner with Larry, you partner with Jeff, you partner with other great people that I'm sure are on this call, right? So then you can give you an opportunity to have the bridge conversation, right? But guess what you just did? You just told them like, hey, you just probably partnered with the wrong person when you was here.
Mhm.
That's really what it is. I've brought people
Exactly.
over back to EXP that are thriving right now that was under other people, but they was partnered with the wrong person. It doesn't matter. Join EXP, don't join EXP. If you partner with the wrong person, it ain't gonna work for you. That's the power of this group right here. You're partnered with the right people.
Beautiful. Love it.
Thank you.
Amanda wants to know, she's off, man. So I've been working with Amanda James for, man, maybe 6 or 7 weeks. I think she has 8 people hired. I think she has like another 8 or 10 in the onboarding. She is crushing it. Those are the results that we're getting inside of that accountability group, guys, just so you know. For those that are leaning in, and she is leaning in. But as she's starting to grow this, right? Like she's thinking like forward pacing and stuff here. And she asks, what, can you give people an idea of what your revenue share looks like with 1,400 people, or maybe what the largest rev share that you've seen has been?
Man, I mean, I'll tell you, I'll just say this right here, right? Um, I have people in my group under me that their rev share has been between 30 to 40, and the largest I've seen is like 50 plus $1,000 a month.
Guys, are you willing to put in the next 8 years to set that up? Like that is a you question. What would $20,000 a month, 30? What would $1,000 passively look like a month right now? Right? Like, how does that make your life better at the end of the day? Now you start compounding that when you start helping more and more people, but it is a consistency thing. It's not like, oh, we invited 25 people, on Monday and then nothing the rest of the month, right? It's that consistency, which is why we reach out to 5 people a day in that accountability call. We want it to be manageable, right? We're trying to teach something that is scalable for everybody across the board at this point in time. So hopefully that helps there, Amanda. He has people underneath him that have seen upwards of $50,000, right? So like that is what you have to look forward to, but you got to stay the course and keep the pace and stuff there.
Like I said, the biggest thing, man, like just know your goals and what you're trying to accomplish. You'll hit them. The first time that I jumped on a Zoom with a guy before I joined, and he showed me his rev share check. And I'm probably one of the biggest skeptics out there. I'm just be honest with you, right? But he showed me it was $25,000 a month. And I was just like, man, I couldn't deny the freaking thing working because people lie, numbers don't, right? And at that particular time, I was like, man, he ain't wrote one contract. He ain't did one amendment to address concerns. He didn't go on a showing. He didn't have a seller yell at him because his freaking house was overpriced and he wants to know why it don't sell, why it didn't sell. He didn't do any of that stuff, and he just made $25,000 a month. And I was like, man, show me how to do that.
Yeah. Mm. Yes. Greg asks, how are you connecting with agents outside of your market or in other markets?
Man, it's pretty simple. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all my go-to for conversations. I'm glad you led back to that, right? Um, it's very simple. I'm very open conversation with an agent. If I was calling them, it's very simple. Like, hey Jeff, basically what I'm looking to do is to be able to share deals. I'm looking for really good agents in your marketplace to share deals, referrals, and information. And I heard that you was a really good agent, and I just want to get more information about you. Is it all right if you can kind of tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your business? It's just that simple. It does not have to be complicated.
It doesn't have to be complicated, guys. Talks to people. And when you ask those agents those questions, they're going to tell you about themselves.
Hmm.
And then this is
Yep.
where the right questions come into play. Oh man, what's led to your success? What is lacking right now? And that's a key question, right? Like, what do you think could be better? What takes you up to the next level? What gets you to your goals, right? And now that's where we can start to create solutions when you know the problems at the end of the day. But it starts with them opening up and talking to you, right? And so, like that's where there's an interview process or, this questioning process to it. And that's where you can learn this faster if you listen to people that are already in this space and already doing this at this point at a really high level. Any other questions for James? Because I know he has another mastermind call. I want to be respectful of his time and stuff here. Well, James, just in case you don't remember me at the next event that we're at, I'm Larry MF White. Like,
Hey, I was waiting for that. I know that was coming.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
I was waiting for it.
Cabo, that's right. Who's this guy?
I didn't want to make it the whole premise of the call, but like, look, I had to get it in somewhere in there.
Well, I was initially thinking it was going to be in the beginning of the call, but I was like, well, it's going to come a little later. But he waited till like what 4 minutes before we jump off, and he's going to slide it in there. But I knew it was coming though. I knew it was coming.
But Larry, didn't you tell James that you're in his rev share group?
No, we co-sponsored an agent. Literally, I put an agent in his group, and like he had no idea who I was. Like he didn't call, he didn't write, he didn't thank me. Like literally,
Hey,
we have agents in the same group together that we are building with, and he had no idea. I was like, man, that's how wealthy I want to be. That is how wealthy I want to be someday.
that's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, look, I love you guys to death. James, man, I love you. Thank you for showing up, for pouring out into everybody and stuff here today. Guys, if you guys ever need anything, I know we have a large group there in ATL. Like, reach out to James, right? Like, let's figure out how we do more together and start adding value to more agents and stuff there. I think that we are just getting started and stuff on this. And yes, I appreciate all of you guys so much. James, you get over to your mastermind call, my friend. And if you guys need anything, call, text, or email me, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks,
Good
James.
seeing
Thanks, Larry.
everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Great
Thanks for
weekend.
having me.
Absolutely.